You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 19th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, we're starting a bit late. It's 3:08, and we're going to call the meeting to order. Want to stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and then roll call.
Chairman Loney, Vice Chairman Reyna,
Present.
Commissioner Benning,
Present.
Commissioner Vincent,
Present.
Commissioner Conley, Commissioner Greer.
Present.
Let the record show that we have two absent, Chairman Loney and Commissioner Conley.
All right, next thing on our agenda is approval of minutes. Has everyone got a chance to look at the minutes and stuff?
I'll make a motion.
Are you doing it month by month, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so this would be then for the July 18th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 18th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, and then roll call? Is it roll call, but,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is it all in favor or? Roll call?
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Vice Chairman Reyna,
Aye.
Commissioner Benning,
Aye.
Commissioner Vincent,
Aye.
Commissioner Greer.
Aye. All right, and then approval for the August 15th board minutes?
I noticed on the August 15th minutes, as far as, first of all, roll call, said that Commissioner Conley was present and she was not present.
Question, I want to make sure that I know we had a mix-up on the, is that on the one, on the corrected minutes? Let me see.
Just the ones in front of me is what I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Okay, no problem. Just want to make sure, because we had a little bit of an issue. No, she was not, so we need to correct that.
And then under new business, under capital improvements, where we spoke about the amendment, the bylaw amendment and resolutions, just for the record, I want to state that I said not nay to it, but my nay was to a resolution, not the amendment of the bylaw. And for the record, the resolution was never read out to the public to even disclose what that resolution of the bylaws was, just for the record, which normally when you're voting on a resolution, the resolution is read, and that was never done. Other than that. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Green, could you clarify the nay?
The nay on the capital improvements, and it goes into discussing the bylaw amendment, which was an actual resolution. And we had a lot of back and forth with that bylaw amendment. And it's saying that Chairman Loney proceeded to approve the amendment. It doesn't even designate that it was a second on here. It just says Chairman Loney proceeded to approve the amendment. Motion to move forward with the resolution to amend the bylaw. It doesn't state a second. The resolution was never even amended. And my nay was to having a resolution, which of course in turn descripted the bylaw amendment. So my nay wasn't to the amendment, because it says that he proceeded to approve the amendment. But again, it didn't even give a second, states a second was even in here for it to go forward. Is that Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
make sure
I do understand. I would make a recommendation that these be tabled until the minutes to be reviewed properly.
And because also that it should say conflict of interest, not capital improvements.
All right, and then the October 17th board minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Vice Chairman Reyna,
Aye.
Commissioner Benning,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner Creer.
Aye. Okay, next on the agenda is Chairman's opening remarks. He's not here, and I have none, so. All right, and then up next is public comment. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak? All right. Communication. Let's just kind of starts with you guys.
We've received no communications in reference to the authority this month.
All right, next on the agenda is reports. We have the housing choice voucher that's up first.
Saul Miranda, HCD Program Manager. This is for November 24 monthly activities. The utilization for the housing choice vouchers, we are at 61%, 229 out of 377. We have 226 regular vouchers and 3 homeownership. The monthly HAP received for November was 147,972. The monthly HAP spent was 178,430. Moving on to the wait list, we have 315 applicants. In November, there were 108 selected. 46 were withdrawn, which left 62 to move on to final eligibility. Overall program activity, in the month of November, 3 vouchers were issued. There are still 5 vouchers searching. We had 1 new lease up, 2 transfers. The PIC late reexaminations are down to 200. Yes, thank God. And we had 3 poured-ins, 2 poured-outs, and the PIC rating for HCV is at 99%.
She skipped over accidentally the inspection. I know it looks horrible, but it's coming down.
Yes, I was at 228,
Yeah, it's coming down.
and it
so.
is coming down.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Up next is finance.
So we have our listing of our payments made in the month of November for business activity, public housing, and housing choice voucher program. I feel like a broken record up here. Our finances are still being reconciled, which will also go partly into my report. And so hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that at our next meeting, I'll actually have something to present, even if it's just the end of the year for 2024, but we're working on that. And we are currently, I don't have the property management report on the agenda. I will talk about that in my report. We currently have a vacancy with our property manager, so that position is vacant as of now. And that goes right into me.
I have a question. Is this part of the vendor accounting? This page, this is part of your finance, right?
Right, that is the finance. That's all the checks. Those are any payments that were made out in the month of November.
So I see concierge consulting shortfall budget, that it said there was a lost check.
We had to reissue the check.
Oh, okay,
It was lost in the mail, so it had to be stopped and reissued.
okay.
Any other questions, comments? All right, executive director reports.
So, as I was stating, first thing on my list is the fee accountant. They are still working on reconciling our 23-24 finances. The deadline for submission to HUD was on November 30th. We were originally told that they would have the report in by the grace period, the first grace period of November 15th. That did not happen, and so now we are in the second grace period for having our financials reported. So we are really crossing our fingers that we will make the second deadline. The second deadline does come with a penalty, and so we will lose a point in our 5 scores for that late submission. As you all know, from October until I want to say about May, the accountant is not getting any financials, any activity for the Housing Authority. When I came on board, we began to turn in documents to them. We found that they weren't doing anything with them. And as of July, we had to do a new contract. They said that the old contract that we had was grandfathered. I really didn't have a choice at such a late date, so we continued with them. And Tammy came aboard with me around July, and we have been giving them everything that they need, and it's just they had a year's worth of work to do at the last minute, and so we've been really pushing as much as we can to get that in, but there's only so much that we can do. So we will be looking early next year to possibly get a new fee accountant moving forward. Right now, how we're operating is very tedious. We're uploading information, but the way a lot of fee accountants actually work is that they use the same software you do. So they see what you're doing as you're doing it, and it's not so much of a paper trail. We're not doing like we used to do back in the day where we would mail everything. However, everything is uploaded to the system. And Tammy and I knew, we were really hoping for that deadline of November 15th, and November 14th, we started getting emails from the fee accountant. I need this, I need that. I said, I don't think this is gonna happen by tomorrow. It was like all of a sudden they woke up. And so we are hoping that we can possibly look for a new fee accountant who is works with our software, and hopefully that will handle some of that. But anyway, we will lose 1 point for that submission. Oh, and I did request an extension from HUD. I didn't tell the fee accountant I was going to, but I did request an extension from HUD, and it was denied. I explained all the issues that it was at the Housing Authority, and it's still considered a fault of the Housing Authority that we should have had staff in place, we should have had ED in place. So we were denied the extension. Moving on to something a little more positive, this is the safety grant, the security grant. We have, if you all saw when you came in, sorry if it was a little loud, but it is working. It is working, so the 5 years working. At Lakeland, it's working, security cameras are working there. The issue that we have is Boulevard Gardens. We had internet here and at Lakeland, and we did not have it throughout the complex. And so that is the last minute issue. They're working out some of the kinks and some of the equipment that they need. All the installation is up. We're just waiting for the cameras to be able to work properly with the internet service. And as soon as that happens, then we will be issuing fobs to all of our residents. And so what will happen is the units that have hallways, the clients will be able to use their fob to go into their building. It'll be secured. There's you're not able to keep the doors open. We can get alerts on our phones if doors are open for too long a period of time. We can look and see who's coming in and coming out. So it's been a long process. I know it's been longer for you than it has been for me, because you all started this way before I came, and we've been moving forward. So we're almost there. We're almost there.
I have a question regarding the security. So every tenant is gonna have a fob. are they just, is that only allowing access to their building? They're not allowed to go to someone else's building?
Correct. So how it's set up in the system, I can give access for the main office, and that's separate from the buildings, and then each building is separate. So each building has two entrances, the entrance that is closest to the street and then the interior. So there's two ways into each building. And so your fob will only allow you into the building that's assigned. And so, yes, so all that is separate. And then Lakeland is also separate as well. And so the cameras are definitely working. The kids at Lakeland leave me nice little messages. As they're running by. So it has, they've been sweet. I haven't had anything, they've been very sweet. But those cameras, unfortunately, what we would have liked to have had is the camera, because it's just facing the side door. So you don't really see what's coming, up. But eventually, the good thing about this system is that we can add on to it. We can add on to it. So I would like to see at some point, not only have fobs to the door to get it, but also your units. Easier to replace, cheaper to replace than losing a key, but that's down the road.
What about fobs with power outages?
So far we haven't had any issue.
But it works on Wi-Fi or internet.
Do we have any issue thus far? I'd have to double check that. I'll have to double check
I'm
that.
sure they thought of a backup or.
You know what, it has, because I've worked at other places that we had fobs and we haven't had an issue. And to get into the building, into our offices and so I'll have to double check that. I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay. No issues is good.
Well, for now. When they installed the door and it worked perfectly, the front door in the main office, it worked perfectly. We're all smiles, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. And what they said was that when it was set up, it was too much, forgive me for not correcting, saying the correct word, but it was like too much firepower. So they had to come in and do some changes because there was too much power going and it kind of overpowered the door. And so they came in right away. It was like about 2 days and then they fixed it. So it's been going seamlessly ever since. So the main goal for the buildings is not to be able to have the people coming in who are, having some safety concerns, or sleeping in the buildings and so forth. That was the main focus because there's so much traffic in and out of the buildings. And the residents or whomever were leaving the doors open with the fob, you're not going to be able, it's going to send an alert to let us know that the door is open too long or it's not locked.
Okay.
Any other questions? I have a quick question. You mentioned Wi-Fi over here. Because I know early on we talked about having Wi-Fi for, it was for Boulevard Gardens. So does each resident over here now have Wi-Fi?
We have not provided Wi-Fi for the residents. That's not part of it. Definitely something we can look into.
Yeah, because we looked into that initially.
It was never done though.
Right.
We can look into that. From previous agencies, sometimes there's been a lot of Wi-Fi that the clients can qualify on their own, but we can definitely look into that.
If you have Medicaid and you
Right.
pay $10, $15 a month.
We'll look into it.
And I think that's what Lakeland Estates was doing, because the majority of the kids out there, they were elementary to middle school, and then they qualified for Medicaid. And that's how a lot of them had Wi-Fi, because the
Right.
parents signed up for under that criteria.
Well, that was the case because Lakeland Estates has kids. I think all these are one bedrooms. And just that was the main thing, was that Lakeland Estates has families, kids, whatever, to where this is just basically like older adults.
It's the same program. You have Medicaid.
Okay, I just remember that being brought up
Yeah.
in past meetings.
And for e-learning,
Yeah, they
wasn't
need
there
to-
something for e-learning?
During e-learning, during COVID, the Wi-Fi out there was free. Some school, I think, provided it or something, or.
They're just
something.
eligible across the board anyway.
Right.
If you're in school and yeah, well, they have to sign up through Comcast. I think it's through Comcast.
Right, but this was setting it up to where they weren't paying anything, it was being paid for by the housing authority.
But Commissioner, I'm making you an attorney now, Commissioner Greer, is correct. It is some program with Medicare, or Medicaid, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So maybe that's something you can check into, Edie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, attorney reports?
We have no attorney report for the month of December.
New business.
Vice Chairman Ray? I'm sorry, I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry. We moved right through this thing today.
I went really quick. I'll talk really fast.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I just. I was like, what, did I miss something? Okay, just really quickly, property management, I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an update. We have moved in 8 families since the last time that we've met. There have been 5 move-ins for Boulevard Gardens and 3 for Lakeland. And I am in the process of moving in 4 families for Boulevard Gardens between now and January, and then 2 more for Lakeland. So I just really wanted to let you all know that we were moving as far as getting the vacancies filled. We're still working on getting vendors for rehab units, snow removal, and lawn care. It really saddens me that we have such not good reputation in the community, and that I don't get a lot of responses. I've not been able to get anyone to do snow removal or even interested in lawn care. So we'll continue to pursue, continue to ask someone to give us a chance. But I just wanted to mention that. But we, in the meantime, but the good thing is so as we're waiting, it's taking a little bit longer, but the maintenance are rehabbing the units. So we're slowly but surely. And one of the things that we've been doing is making sure that I've been working with HUD on our vacant unit turnaround, and we're trying to make sure that the people that we lease in go into the oldest vacant units. So there's a system of as how we're leasing in the families. So just wanted to make sure that we were making some strides with the vacancies and the turnaround, because that had been a definite issue. And then I'll let you go.
I have a question with the vendors. I know Commissioner Vincent, you may recall the gentleman that did the snow removal on the sidewalks. He did it for years. I can't remember his name.
He's on here, we use them for some grass cutting. He's on the financial report.
Oh, he is, okay. Well, can we look into him? I
Jeffrey
know.
Harris.
Harris?
No, it was the other gentleman that did the snow removal. What's his, I forgot his name.
Well, what we can do is I can send him the RFP. You just bring it to my attention, his name.
I don't know, he did it for years and then he had a problem with
Wagner.
payments.
Mr. Wagner.
Mr. Wagner, yes, Mr. Wagner did it for years. I didn't know that he wasn't still,
He's one of those that was disappointed with the payment
the payment,
plan.
right, yeah.
From
That
last
that
time.
was the biggest thing. But I know he was very consistent with it,
Yeah, he was good.
Okay. Came to the board sometime.
so you can maybe reach out to him.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely.
I got a question. How are the older residents responding to the moving of the younger ones? Are they still kind of, why are they here?
It's been really quiet overall. I have probably one that I probably get a little complaint about, and that probably is just calls. But overall, actually that was part of my conversation with HUD. So what happens is when this building, when I come aboard, I kept looking, everyone said that it was elderly disabled, but I show no HUD designation that this building, that Boulevard Gardens is a elderly disabled. And so when I spoke with HUD, what it is that it's a designation that you have to apply for every 5 years. And so it could have just simply been that it wasn't reapplied for, and so therefore there was no designation. And so when I came aboard and there was no designation, I'm not able to deny someone, because that would be a housing discrimination if I denied them to move in. So then where we would be is having the conversation is, do we want to then apply for the designation, and then we could go back to being elderly senior building. But we also have to keep in consideration that we need to get the units filled. So there's going to be that catch-22. And quite frankly, a lot of the new people that I'm moving in are not at that age, and that elderly. I don't have, not really looking at the ages too much, but I don't really have a lot of, they're not meeting that disability or elderly age at this point. So that is a conversation. Do we go back? We can apply for it and then create the designation. But remember, it's going to also cut into the leasing. And HUD is really pushing it. We're having monthly calls, bi-monthly calls to make sure that we get leased up. So if that's something that we want to do in the future, we definitely can apply for it. And once the designation happens, it only lasts 5 years.
You may have already stated this, so forgive me if you said it and not out of my head. How many vacant units do we have over here?
So I don't,
Is it-
I property report from last month. So as of October 31st, there were 24 in Boulevard Gardens, and 16 are ready to lease. So just about, I have about, I think 5 or 6 of them leased, and I think there's another 6 or so that I have assigned to families. So that still leaves me about 8 vacant for turnaround. So I'm gonna say probably about 10 that I haven't committed to someone as of yet, 8 to 10.
Okay, so we should be able to move quickly with getting those occupied then.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I'll be here all next week.
Okay. That's all?
That's all. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and
Oh, no, I'm not. I'll give you a couple of things. The board schedule for next year. I'm gonna go really quickly.
okay.
I met just an awesome young lady from the Michigan City community by the name of Albertine Allen, better known as Miss Tiny. And she works with the Minority Health Partners of LaPorte County. And they came yesterday and had a lunch and learn session on diabetes awareness and cooked soup with the residents. And they had an awesome time. And so I look forward to doing more events with the Minority Health Partners. Tomorrow at Lakeland Estates, we are having a toy drive for the children of Lakeland. I just want to say that Chief Corley has really gone out of his way to make this an event. We reached out to him just asking, hey, we think we want to do something for the kids in Lakeland. And when I tell you, he took this thing and ran with it. We have Michigan City Housing Authority, of course, Hagerman, the FOP, Coca-Cola, State Farm, City of Michigan City Fire Department, Local 475, and the Police Department. And we are expecting a great time tomorrow. So commissioners, this is a closed event to Lakeland residents, but commissioners, you're welcome to attend if you would like to. We've been setting up, and we'll go back tonight again to finish setting up. So we're expected to be an awesome time. Lastly but not least, our offices will be closed from the public as of Monday through the January 6th. We have the holidays in between, and then we have other office closures where we're going to be cleaning, and I'm going to be beating people up. But we are going to be closed to the public other than for our specific assignments. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that, and then we will post this. And also too, we have an active Facebook page for those who are interested.
Nice.
And I am really done now.
All right, awesome. We have nothing under new business. Any old business? None that was brought up? Commissioner remarks? No?
When, I'm not sure, I'll have to look and see what the bylaws say, but when, and maybe it's a designated time during the year, but when is elections for our board?
I believe that's the first meeting of the year.
First one.
And that would be the annual meeting.
Yes.
That, okay.
Yes, there could be
July.
a special meeting that's called for that purpose, but I really wouldn't. I believe we did that at one point. We called a special meeting just for elections.
Right.
But I believe pursuant to the bylaws, it is the first meeting of the calendar year.
All right, anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Or second, sorry. My head's foggy, forgive me.
We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.